Okay children, let me continue the lesson. Already we have seen what is sound, what are the sound waves, then what is echo, how the sound is reflected, everything. Now we have to see how to find out the measuring, how to find out the velocity of the sound by using echo. Echo, I said multiple reflection of sound is known as what? Echo. How to find out the velocity of the sound by using echo method. It's in page number 64. Okay. So what are the things required to do this experiment? We can prove this thing by an experiment also. What are the things? First one is a source of sound pulses. That is the sound produces. A measuring tape, a sound receiver. That is one object is producing sound means other object should receive the sound. And a stopwatch. Okay. Then how to do? What are the apparatus required we have seen and how to do? Measure the distance between the source of the sound pulse and the reflecting surface using the measuring tape. That is, one is a sound pulse. And here what is the reflecting surface? So here the sound is produced and it should be reflected there. First you have to find out the distance between them. We have to find out the distance. How can we find out the distance? By using the measuring tape. Then the receiver is also placed adjacent to the source. A sound pulse is emitted by the source. So the sound pulse and the reflecting surface both in the straight line only, because the sound can easily travel. If it is irregular line, the sound cannot travel properly. So that should be adjusted. Second one, you have to adjust sound pulse and reflecting surface should be adjusted according to the sound pulse. Adjust the reflecting surface. I am writing RS. Adjust the reflecting surface. Third, the stopwatch is used. A sound pulse is emitted by the source. Now we have operated. So while you are operating the sound pulse, you have to operate the stopwatch also, because we want to notice the time, how many seconds it has taken to travel. The stopwatch is used to note the time interval between the instant at which the sound pulse is sent and the instant at which the echo is received. So next one we have to find out stopwatch by finding the time. Watch when the reflecting sound received the sound. Received and reflecting. The time is T. Repeat the experiment for 3 or 4 times. The average time taken for the given number of pulses is calculated. So first what I say, the one is sound pulse, it produces a sound and you have to keep the reflecting surface where it has to be reflected. And you have to find out the distance between them. Then we have to adjust the reflecting surface. Then only the sound can be properly reflected and can be again echoed. Okay. Then we have to adjust, then we have to find out the stopwatch by using, we have to find out the time, how many seconds to reach within how many seconds the sound reaches the reflecting surface and echoed. And this experiment we have to repeat 3 or 4 times and find out the average. The average is the time taken to velocity of the sound. Clear? That is, already I said, speed of the sound is distance travelled by time taken. That is, distance travel may be 2 times, because once it goes and reflected back, this is 1 time and second time. Okay, distance travel and reflected back by time, that is seconds, we have to find out. Clear? Then the applications of reflection sound. So every scientific investment or every scientific invention, that will be useful to us. The scientific apparatus and all very useful to us. We'll see how the reflection of, how the echo is useful to us by what are the useful things of echo. That is reflection of sound. Echo is nothing else, it's reflection of sound. Applications of echo. Echo is otherwise known as what I said. ECHO, echo or reflection of sound. Reflection of sound only known as what? Echo. Clear children? Application. What are the uses? First one, we are making the sound board. How to sound out, make the sound board? This is mainly to make the sound board, we have to use curved surfaces. Already I said the parabolic surfaces, curved surfaces is parabolic surfaces. You have to say curved surfaces which are used in auditoria and halls to improve the quality of sound. Why we are using curved surfaces? To get the good quality of the sound. The sound can be produced very clearly. Quality of sound, we are using curved surfaces. That is concave mirrors, concave lens, concave mirror. Speaker is at the focus of the concave surface. Next we have to feel speaker. Speaker you have to place to increase the sound. The sound of the speaker is reflected towards the audience, thus improving the quality of sound heard by the audience. One is soundboard. The soundboard what you are using? Curved surfaces. That is convex mirror or convex lens. What for you are using the curved means because to get the quality of sound clearly. Then speaker should be there to reproduce the sound, to increase the pitch of the sound wave. Next one, we are using ear trumpet. That is nothing else, hearing aid. Some people know they cannot hear normally like us. The normal ear sound is 20 to 20,000 Hz. We have seen already audible range. Some people know they cannot hear the sound due to some eardrum may be affected. Inner parts of the ear may be affected. They could not hear. So they can replace the hearing capacity by using a ear trumpet. It's a machine which gets the sound and passes into the ear. Ear trumpet, it is hearing aid. It is nothing else. It is hearing aid. Aid means what? Helping us to hear. Aid, help, okay, which is useful by the people who have difficulty in ear. So the people, those who could not hear properly, they can use it. In this divide, one end is wide, other end is narrow. Two ends are there. First end is wide. Wide means what? Broad. The last end is narrow. That is the thing we are keeping inside the ear is wide. Then outside, which is facing the surface, is known as narrow. The sound from the source of the fall into the wide end and the reflected by walls of the narrow part of the recite. Okay. So narrow part only inside the ear, wider part is outside. When the sound is heard in the wider part, it can be travel through the narrow and can go to the person's ear. This help in concentrating of the sound and sound enters into the eardrum with more intensity. Intensity means what? Clarity. This enables a person to hear the sound better. Okay. Here, ear trumpet, nothing else. It has two parts. One is narrow, other one is broad. Broad is otherwise known as what? Wide. Wide end is facing outside. Narrow end is inside the ear. So when we are operating, we are using that thing. No, you people are very well. Earphones and all you are using. No, like that. Next one, megaphone. Third one is what? Megaphone. Ear trumpet. The games and all you will play by using, but this others could not hear the sound, but you can hear. Like that, ear trumpet. But here the people, they have the defect. To clear the defect, they are using hearing aid. That is ear trumpet. But the people, those who are playing with the mobiles, they are using that. Not to disturb the surrounding. Megaphones, it's a horn-shaped device used to gather the small gathering of people. It is a horn shape. Horn and all you know. Horn. It is for the small gathering only. Big gathering means you are using the mic speakers and all. But the small gathering we are using megaphones. Its one end is wide, other end is narrow, the same like only. The sound of the speech is concentrated by the multiple reflection of the walls of the tube. This is multiply reflected because we are using megaphone. Thus, his voice can be heard loudly over a long distance. So, what are the applications of ear and reflection of the sound? We are saying one is we are making up the soundboard. This can be used in auditorium and the big halls and the second one with the thing we are using curved surfaces and speaker. Ear trumpet, I said, it's known as hearing aid, which is useful to the person. Those are unable to hear the sound. And third one is megaphone. This is horn-shaped instrument used only in the small gathering. Clear? Next we have to see Doppler effect. Third one we have to see Doppler effect. It is the important, it's a boon to the science. Doppler effect is boon to the science. What are the things cannot be found by X-rays and scans? By using the Doppler effect, we can find out easily all the complications which is found in our body. Next we have to say Doppler effect. So before see what is Doppler effect, we will say the definition for that. It's another page, page number 66 you see. Within the box, whenever there is a relative motion between a source and a listener, whenever there is a relative motion between a source and the listener, source, a person who makes the sound, listener, the other person who hears the sound. Okay, sound is by two sources only. One is the person who produced the sound, other one is the thing which received. Whenever there is a relative motion between a source and a listener, the frequency of the sound heard by the listener is different from the original frequency of the sound emitted by the source. That is, the source is producing original sound. This cannot be heard clearly by the receiver. This kind of thing is known as Doppler effect. Okay, so this is known as what? Doppler effect. This is 2-mark question. You should go through. Whenever there is a relative motion between a source and a listener, the frequency of the sound is heard by the listener is different from the original frequency of the sound emitted by the source. This is known as what? Doppler effect. So, for example, the whistle of the fast moving train appears to increase the pitch as it approaches the stationary listener, and it appears to decrease the train as move away from the listener. For example, we can say, everybody used to go to the railway station. When the train arrives, the sound will be more. So, the listener can hear the sound very clearly. The train is approaching, so coming near. After the train moves from there, after it started, the sound will be decreased. Okay, that time also it produces the same sound only. So, halt ஆகும்போது என்ன சவுண்டு, இந்த ஸ்டேஷனுக்கு வரும்போது என்ன சவுண்டு ப்ரொடியூஸ் பண்ணுதோ அதே சவுண்டு தான் அங்கேருந்து போகும்போது கூட வரும். But while listening, the original sound cannot be reproduced. This is known as what? Doppler effect. This apparent change in the frequency was first observed and explained by Christian Doppler. So, this is found by Christian Doppler. Already I said, what are the inventions done by the scientists? Just to honor them, it is named by them. அவங்களோட நேம் வச்சு சொல்லிட்டு இருந்தாங்க. Christian Doppler, he only find out the contrast change of hearing sound, and he is known as what? Doppler effect he found. He is Austrian mathematician and physicist also. He observed that the frequency of the sound as received by a listener is different from the original frequency. That is, it is different from original. Frequency. Different from original. The hearing sound is different from the original. Original sound produces more sound, but hearing will be somewhat less. And this is known as Doppler effect. This relative motion could be due to various possibilities. And he find out why this has happened. He made the experiments and find out the listener moves towards or away from a stationary source. What is said? Suppose station is there, means the person who hears, for example, station master, he may be away from the station. If he is nearby, definitely you could hear the sound properly. He is away from the station. The source moves towards or away from a stationary listener. Both the source and listener move towards or away from one another. The medium moves when both sources and listener are at rest. Maybe he has given 4 reasons. Okay. Then what is the other one? Conditions for no Doppler effects. In some places only this Doppler effect can be, other places it could not be happen because when the source and listener both are at rest. அந்த சவுண்டே நமக்கு கேட்காம இருக்குன்னு சொன்னால் சோர்ஸும் ரெஸ்ட்டில் இருக்குது, லிசனர் என்னில் இருக்காங்க, ரெஸ்ட். When source and listener, S means source and L means listener, move in such a way the distance between them remain them constant. So they are equally moving. Source and listener both are moving equally. The distance between them is also equal only. When the source and listener are moving in mutually perpendicular direction, not parallel direction, they are going in the perpendicular direction. Perpendicular means what? Opposite direction. If the source is situated at the center of the circle along which is listener is moving, within the circle the source is, but listener is moving here and there, so you could not hear the sound properly. So these are the things, conditions for no Doppler effect. We don't want to hear the Doppler effect, we can do like this. Then what are the applications of Doppler effect? It can be used to measure the speed of an automobile. So what's the speed of automobile? We can use because of the Doppler effect by produce an electromagnetic wave. For example, the police vehicle and all, they produce the sound. This is because of Doppler effect. And tracking a satellite, we want to see which direction the satellite is moving. You can find out by using that is location of the satellites can be easily find out. Location means what? Where it is. That can be find out by using a Doppler effect. Radar, it is very important. This is used in navigation purposes. That is what this radar stand means. Radio waves are sent, that is radio detection and ranging. The radar radio waves are sent and the reflected waves are detected by the receiver of the radar station. From the frequency change, the speed and location of the aeroplanes and aircrafts are tracked. This is very important. Aeroplanes and aircraft, that is jet we are saying no. This can be, suppose something happens to the aeroplane or aircraft, some other aircraft, something happened, they can easily locate where the aeroplane, where the accident happens by using the radar. That's a signal from the station. We can find out where it has happened. Then how it will be happen? What's the reason for that? Everything we can find out by using radar. And sonar, it's the other boon for the science. Next one is what I said, sonar. By measuring the change, the frequency between the sent signal and received signal. That is, signal is sent from one place, other place we receive the signal. That can be found between the marine animals and submarines can be determined. This sonar, by using the sonar, we can find out the hidden submarine. Submarine, you know. Suppose the submarine is hidden, we can find out by using sonar. Sonar is producing the sound. So whenever the hidden objects is there, when it affects on the hidden object, it reflects. From that we can find out where the submarine is. What's the distance from the outside and the depth of the sea. They can easily calculate and can find out. Oh. So thus science is very useful to us. From this lesson we came to know what is Doppler effect, what are the conditions necessary for us, then what are the instruments based on that. Only what I said, the important thing is radar and sonar. Radar is mainly to find out the movement of the aeroplane and aircrafts. Whatever happen in between we can find out. And sonar, it is mainly useful to find out the hidden objects under the sea, because it's mainly happen between the marine animals. By using the sound of the marine animals, when the submarine is hidden, that can be find out by using this. Okay children, nothing else, the lesson is completed. So by completing this lesson, the physics only one more lesson for us, that is nuclear physics. And the same like in chemistry, one lesson only, that is carbon and its compound. And biology only we have to take 4 lessons. Totally we have to complete 6 lessons. We'll try to complete as early as possible. In the meantime, just learn the question and answers. I said beginning itself, learn short answers, choose objectives and all. Detailed answer, when the government has announced the syllabus to us, according to that we learn the detailed answer. Okay children, thank you.